Hi, my name's Shawn Shaler. That guy down there bending over at a screen is my friend Chris Ford, aka The Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter. That's pretty terrifying right there. Nobody knows how to celebrate New Year's like Amon. Chris, that looks fantastic. I mean, sorry, not Chris. Amon, that's what I meant. That's it. That's his whole.
I told you I would destroy you, Avatar. I am here.
You're here for the New Year's party, right? Yeah, he's here for the New Year's
There is
party.
no new year.
This,
It's a new dawn. No
that's what I meant to say. I
benders.
keep getting my lingo wrong. I'm so sorry, Amon.
Mm.
Happy New Year, everybody! New calendar year. If you're into that sort of thing, uh, I'm really not. I don't think Chris really is either. But if you are, Happy New Year's! Congratulations on surviving 2021, which was very similar to 2020 somehow. Chris slash
I don't know why
Amon.
I'm on this creepy and
I as he well, he's giving us the close up. Chris, it looks great. How's everything else coming? I know the rest of the costume probably isn't quite as painful.
I haven't even gotten the I bought that jacket I showed you, and I haven't gotten it yet. It's coming from Zhejiang, China. I'm sure I butchered that. Sorry, apologies. I'm sure no one will even know what the heck I was talking about, but it's coming from China for some reason.
If you
Um,
mispronounce a name so bad that nobody can even be upset because they can't figure it out, then that's a safe
yeah,
move. No, I don't know how to say it either. But it looked like the mask was going to be sort of the most difficult part of that costume.
yeah. No, the mask is great. I
It
bought three
looks
masks
excellent.
off of Etsy. I should have bought it off of eBay. I'm pretty sure it's the same as that person selling it. They used to use the same picture, but for some reason I didn't look on eBay until like after I bought it, and it would have been $5 cheaper, which I'm mad about. Even though, I mean, the thing is, I'm more like I recently got a raise at work, and it was a pretty good raise.
Congrats.
Like far more than $5 a year. But I am more upset at the losing out on the $5 than I am happy about getting the raise.
I sometimes if I see like a Switch game is an easy example. If I see it on sale and I'll think, nah, I don't want that. But then the next time, like I won't see it on sale for a really long time, and I have a specific one in mind. But then it was on sale for instead of 20.99, like I saw it the first time, or 19.99, it was for like 22.99, and like I really wanted it, but I couldn't make myself do it because like no, I've seen it cheaper. It'll go down.
Yeah,
It
it
still
probably will
hasn't.
go down.
It still hasn't come back down. I should have bought it for sure. Should have bought the first time, but anyway, no, I know how
There's
you
there's
feel that
this
that $3 can make such an impact on my life.
there's this riding lawnmower bagger that I've been looking at that I've been holding on.
That's the
I don't know,
most
my wish list
responsible
on.
thing we've ever discussed purchasing on this show, and I have no doubt in my mind whatsoever.
Well, because I wanted to pick up like the leaves and stuff because I feel like I'm definitely not raking all those leaves.
Mm-mm.
My backyard's pretty big, and I figured, oh, I'll get a bagger, and that will help out because also it will chop up the leaves and then it'll put it into the thing, and then that would be easier and probably less bags. And it was on. I didn't even think it was on sale because it's been at this price forever. It was like $3.99. And then I figured like, oh, it'll go down across Christmas time, and then it went back up to 460. I'm like, what the heck? This ain't how it works.
Lots of
I'm supposed to
people
go.
trying to bank on lots of people buying their dad's baggers for Christmas.
Yeah.
Gonna rake those margins. Pun
But now I
intended.
can find it on Amazon though for 420. I'm like, should I just get it on Amazon for 420? But then that would be $20 more than what I would have bought it for if I just bought it before. Now I'll wait till the end of the year. They'll probably, I mean, you know how it works. End of the year, companies,
I would
desperate
wait.
companies tend to put stuff on sale because they got to make those either sales units or profit somehow. So yeah, I'll
I
wait
would like to think
until
that
the
we
end of the
know
year.
how it works roughly as well as anybody, and I would say I would wait. Personally, I would wait. Especially
I really wish I could use this retail information in different
in
other different
different.
aspects.
I mean, I apply mine to video games and cause myself buyer's remorse, or the opposite thing that I just described a lot.
In that interview I talked about last week or a couple hours ago, whatever it was. Afterwards, the lady was like, "Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Viewers don't know this. We're talking about this offline."
Oh
Anyway,
yeah,
had
it
an
was
interview.
off the. Okay, so in between recordings.
Yeah, anyway. there's three of us applying for this leadership program or something, and we were in an interview, right? And then the lady was explaining, she was like, "All right, yeah, so there's uh, and in the interview wise, I probably stress analysis of some things I've did in the past." And the interview lady was like, "All right, so there are 16 positions open. Four of them have already been filled, and we have 36 of we're interviewing 36 of you. And since Chris is probably analytical, he probably already did the math in his head that means that he has a 1 in 3 out of chance, 1 out of 3 chance to get it." And I cracked up laughing at that because she was absolutely right.
You're
I
like, yeah, I
did
already
the
did those odds.
I mean, it was easy math to do, but still, I was laughing that she knew in my head I was doing the math.
And there's a difference between like, it's not like we're algebra wizards or anything like that. It's like
No, no.
just sort of standard retail math that you get used to doing quickly, or rounding. Like I do a lot of rounding of numbers to bigger numbers so that I can quickly estimate. That's a common thing in my life. That comes in
Yeah.
handy a lot. Today, a lady at work, I was talking. I was like, "Oh," she's like, "Hey, how can I, get this information when all I have is these employee IDs?" It's like, "Oh, you just need to grab this Excel sheet over here, and do a VLOOKUp." And I was like, just ready to rattle on the whole thing. But as soon as I got VLOOKUP out of my mouth, she's like, "Oh no, I hate those. I'm not gonna do that." And I was like,
Just a feeling.
"Pardon? Come
It
again?"
ain't nothing.
When when XLOOKUPs were released earlier this year, I celebrated on social media, ma'am. And you're just gonna sit here and trash VLOOKUPs in front of my face? I don't have feelings. It was a weird interaction. Anyways, Chris, Happy New Year's. I know I don't think either one of us particularly New Year's, but do you have any
I
resolution?
might be more New Year's ish, this year. Although, just go ahead and get started on it though. That's the thing. It's like if you feel like you want to start doing something, just start it. Even though I feel like that, and I just don't start it because I don't have good willpower. Um,
Same.
but I do have a couple of different things. I want to get in better shape. I don't necessarily want to lose weight. I just want to feel like I'm in better shape. Um, it's interesting that I was watching this Adele special. Um, okay, another quick tangent. One thing, I love Adele. Absolutely love it. And I loved her since her first album, 19 or 16. No, 19.
I don't remember.
It's okay. Um, but she had this Oprah Winfrey special, and I'm only laughing because like a bunch of where she like sung songs from a new album, a couple of songs from old albums, and like if you look at the crowd, it was just celebrities there. It was a very intimate kind of setting, probably only like 50 people there, but they're all very famous people. For some reason, Seth Rogen was in the first row, and and he was
That's
on
not
Jimmy
a
Fallon
face I want to
yesterday.
stare at when I'm trying to perform.
Well, he was on Jimmy Fallon the other day, and Jimmy Fallon was like, "I saw you on Adele on our special." He was like, "Yeah, that was weird. I gotta say because I don't know Adele." Like, and for some reason, like he was saying, like, "Yeah, so we get like a letter. It says, hey, do you want to come to a private event for Adele will be singing her songs?" I'm like, yeah, that sounds like fun. So me and my wife, we one thing, Jimmy, just let you know, we smoke weed, and so we smoked a bunch of weed, and then and then we go to the event, and I see like cameras and stuff, and I'm like, oh shoot, he probably doesn't say shoot, like this is not just some intimate event, like this is a television production where I did not prepare for this. And then him and his wife was like, all right, we'll just sit in the back, and it'll be fun, and it'll be fine. And then we get our ticket, and it says like 1A and 1B. And we're like, holy crap, no, we're not prepared for this. Like we're right in the front row. And then he's like, I don't know, like Adele, thank you, but I don't why us? Like I didn't get to really enjoy the concert because I could just like feel the hate from all the other celebrities on like why is he in the front row?
First of all,
Like
why
did
is
he
Seth
write
Rogen here? Number
yeah,
one.
like did he for some reason like secretly write one of her early songs like Chasing Pavements or Rolling in the Deep or something? Like
Yeah,
he's
that's
like, and I
right up his
don't
alley.
know Adele. But
He
that's fine.
inspired her
Uh
to remake "Make You Feel My Love." That was straight out of Seth Rogen's heart.
uh Yeah, she sung that song too. Um,
It's a good. That's my favorite
oh, but
Adele performance.
oh yeah, that's great. What was it? Oh, the reason I bring up Adele because on her Oprah Winfrey special, right, they were going over how she's lost a bunch of weight and stuff, and she was like, "Yeah, I wasn't doing it to like lose weight. I was doing it because I was enjoying working out and stuff. I'm body positive. Like I don't. It's not that I'm like happy. Like, oh, hey, look at me, I'm skinny. So like I wouldn't care if I was like. She was like, I might go back to being the same weight that I was before, or something different, or in the middle. Like I just enjoyed working out, lifting weights, and I just kept doing it. It was something to distract me from like my divorce and stuff, and it was really good. It kept me centered. So that's my point. It was like I don't I don't really like I remember when I lost weight a couple years ago. Shawn, you're a great inspiration for me. You don't know that, but
I do know it. No,
but
I'm not
oh, you do
taking.
know.
That
Okay.
sounds very arrogant. Of course, I knew Chris. I knew all along. You're welcome.
But
Nope, I know what you're talking about though.
yeah, like all my life I played basketball, and for some reason I haven't played for a while. I never played professional or stuff like that. I just played for fun, but always play. I was always in fairly good enough shape to play basketball, and so I remember we went. It was like I think Mo was there also. Maybe he was there.
Not early
But I know
on.
you
No,
were
we took
there.
a lot of convincing.
Okay. Yeah, so it was me and you and played with finance guys. And I took just like one or two trips down the court and I am just gassed, exhausted. Like I'm like, holy crap, I am out of shape. And then and then it's funny because I told Mo, I was like, Mo, these like Shawn was out playing. No offense, Shawn, but in my head I was like, I did not expect Shawn to be like I am just out of shape. And I was like, Mo, I'm turning my life around. I'm gonna get in shape. And that weekend, I bought a treadmill, and like I just went from there. Like I was on like I had it in my head. Just like, all right, just get on treadmill, do this. It's funny because Mo wrote on my wall, Facebook wall when I was right on when this wall was a thing. It was like, Chris, how's the getting in shape thing going? I was like, great. I bought a treadmill and and I lost probably 40 pounds after that, which since then I've gained back to 20. Um, hey, whatever.
Who hasn't?
Um, yeah, but but no, I don't. Just gonna get in better shape. I don't have that big motivation like basketball anymore, but I still want to try and get in better shape. But also another thing is I do want to do more videos. I'm starting to get that itch again. And I describe the itch of like I'm writing scripts to videos in my head before writing them on paper, and like I would always do that before I even write out a script because I when I do that I know oh I'm really excited about this content and stuff. And so I have a couple different videos I'm thinking about doing, and I think my life is in a more balanced state where I could start doing more videos. So
Kids getting a
hopefully I can get
little
to
little older, little more
yeah, the
or a little
little
less
yeah,
maintenance required, maybe.
yeah, a little more independent, crying a little less, become a little more chill. This is probably the most hectic child I've had. But no, I got no real complaints.
Yeah.
So hopefully I can start getting back to doing more videos. I want to do a video on the live action Cowboy Bebop, and if it's, I think it's
Uh,
actually probably better than
no, I can't
than
even
the
make myself
anime.
watch it because I just the anime just didn't click with. I'm not saying it's bad. It's
I
not even
know.
remotely what I'm saying. It just did not click with me so hard that I have zero interest in the live
The thing is,
action.
Sean, I think that is fair. So I did not even, and I have that same thing as you. Like for some reason, I try to watch the original anime, and I just can't get into it. Like every time I try, I'm just like, this is boring.
It
I don't know what it is.
feels
I'm
like
just
it's
not.
trying so hard to be very cool.
I think it's so many people love it. I'm like,
I
what do
know.
they? And I haven't.
Probably,
I'm on
probably a
like
lot of
episode
people. I
eight.
would imagine people that watch our show from that selection of between 10 and 100 people. There's probably a good portion that do like it, and we're not saying it's bad whatsoever.
Yeah.
But
That's, so I've seen because it will come on TV, Toonami, Adult Swim, or whatever. I've seen probably at least half the episodes, but not really paying attention to like the order and the storytelling. So I've watched the live action series and I actually enjoyed it. And so like I'm gonna watch I'm watching now the original anime. I kind of want to do a video comparing contrasting to the two of them. 'Cause I feel like a lot of people are down on the live action, and maybe rightfully so. It does have some weird stuff to it and weird aspects to it. That I kind of understand. But maybe they're not cutting enough slack, and so I'm looking forward to maybe doing a video on that.
Would be a
And
better, not a
hopefully,
better, would be an interesting perspective as somebody not super
yes,
tied to the anime.
yes. So hopefully, maybe I can do that by probably like a month or so. I say that,
Not
but
the
you know,
next month. The
also,
next month, well, I guess a month from today being New Year's
yeah,
itself. Okay, I
I,
see. I see.
I want to be objective and first watch the whole anime to completion, and but I'm not going to force myself like, oh, you gotta watch all these
Yeah,
episodes.
that's not good. You
But
won't
I
enjoy it at
actually
all if you force yourself.
no, yeah. But I enjoyed the live action one, especially the last couple episodes. I thought it was really
Oh,
good. The first couple ones I did not think were good, and I was like, man, there's going to be work to have to watch this. But it got a lot better after like the first or second episode. I started to understand where the story was going, where all these characters are at. Oh man, I thought it was a good. You know how you go to bed and you think of something good? It finally came back to me now.
the
Like you have like a little epiphany, or you
uh,
like break a story or something like that.
well, and I get those the worst. Honest to goodness, I get those the worst. Like after we play, like Yu-Gi-Oh or something like that, and then I'll think of something that I should have done, or like a different
Oh yeah.
idea for like how to swap my deck. That's where those inspirations come. Is when I'm laying down trying to sleep. Then I gotta go dig up my cards. Uh, well, I will probably not try to watch the live action until I see
It's
your
okay.
video. So maybe I've got more than a month before I've got to
It's
try to
okay.
watch that. Also, I do. I vividly remember the first basketball day. Not so much because I noticed you, because I had no context of what kind of shape you're supposed to be in or whatever. But I remember because I was wearing Shaquille O'Neal Dunkmans from Payless, and those shoes
Nice.
have the hardest soles of any shoe I've ever laid eyes on. And if you think about this, if that doesn't immediately strike you as odd, uh, as a basketball shoe, a very hard, non-sticky sole is not good or safe or comfortable in any way, shape, or form. Don't recommend. No offense, Payless. Remember that vividly.
That's okay.
Um,
They're dead. They won't hear you.
I, I as that's funny to think about. I don't have a strict resolution. Kind of along the same lines, though. I'm not in good shape by any means, but Charlie keeps us in shape. We run about a mile a day with Charlie, and
That's
then
good.
it right, and it's not fast, but just changing heart rate and all that stuff, and it's good for him. And then I have like a standing elliptical, but under my desk, so you can like sit and pedal on it, or you can stand up on it, and it's like I don't know, it's like 2 feet long by a foot and a half wide or something. Very convenient. So I'm not in shape, but I'm okay there. But I need to eat better. I love junk food. I have a terrible sweet tooth. I hate vegetables and fruits. And so gotta like eventually grow up and try to eat better. So just generically, I want to eat more vegetables, probably even raw vegetables. Like force myself if I want a snack to like attempt to eat a carrot or something. We'll see how that goes. I hate vegetables. I love sweets and things that are fried and carbs and cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, we'll see. We recently got an air fryer that we kind of enjoy, and we've kind of thrown vegetables in there just by like we just did. What did we do the other day? We did like chicken and broccoli in there, and I was like, all right, I can be okay with that. So that's my not resolution, but vow to permanently try to change some kind of habit. Happy New Year's to everybody else. If you make resolutions, then great. We hope you stick with them and they do what you want them to do. But don't do anything that you like can't make the actual change to yourself permanently. I guess, right? Because then what's the point? Like change yourself for the better, big picture. If you're gonna go that route, good luck either way. In honor of New Year's, Chris, we wanted to do a little bit of a different episode this time. We're gonna call it Book Three Change in retrospect. Like looking back on something we just covered, like looking back on a previous year, where we're going to talk just a little bit about book three. We don't have a specific agenda other than I just want to point out that never before have we even had this desire to have a retrospective video about a season. of Avatar: The Last
Mm.
Airbender or Legend of Korra. Like, this is the first time where it just came out natural. I was like, hey, we gotta dedicate some time just to talk about this season. That has not happened before. We've done ranking videos and things like that, but never before like this. So I just want to introduce it, I guess, or how I want to kick the conversation off is just by pointing out that this season feels like it just merits more discussion, big picture, like overarching discussion. And with that nebulous introduction, Chris, I'll let you take it from here.
All right. So, in retrospect, I kind of want to go over some of our favorite moments or favorite um, ideas or character aspects, and then also some of maybe even some of our least favorites or what we would change for look through change. Um, so the season as a whole, I think is one of the best. It we'll see how everything ends up being, and I can't wait for us to rank objectively all the seasons of Avatar that we have, including Avatar: Last Airbender and Legend of Korra together. But Legend of Korra Book 3 change is I am pretty sure is going to be a very top contender for the best book of them. So it'll probably compete with Book 2 and Book 3 of Avatar: Last Airbender. Um, but the thing is, this is a very complete season. It's almost hard to compare, but because it really is a very complete season from beginning to end. There's not all that much filler. Um, you got a couple new character introductions. It's interesting enough. You got character introductions of Su Yan, Beifong, and a couple different villain ones like Zahir and all the other different side villains. And the same thing happened in book two of Avatar. We got introduced to Toph, got introduced to Azula and her uh, Ozai's Angels, as some people call them for some reason. um, and so the season also did a good job of introducing some new characters. And yeah, one of my favorite aspects of it is just also getting to know Suyin. That whole Beifong dynamic, I think it was done really, really well. They added kind of a whole new perspective to Toph, to Lin. Definitely, we're always wondering like, why is Lin so like grumpy and upset? Like, sure, Toph can be like a little grumpy at times, but not like nearly to Lin's level. So
Toph
we got
still feels human, whereas Lynn doesn't always.
yeah, that's true. And we got a new look at that. So I think that's probably one of my favorite aspects of this season.
the The way that it sprinkles in stuff for the next season feels unique. I know that it's not weird for season 3 to reference season 2 or to build on that, but the way that it like plants seeds where it knows what it's doing in advance
Hmm.
doesn't feel like
Yeah,
something else that's replicated. And
yeah.
then, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Book four. I was like, book four cannot happen at all without the things that happened in book two. Where I feel like, I'm sorry, in book three. I feel like book three. I mean, yeah, the stuff with harmonic convergence does affect it, but almost feels like just in the result of it, and not like um, not
It
a
doesn't feel like
continuous
as
kind of.
like an intentionally
Yeah,
pre-designed. Like they knew exactly what they were gonna do, and just these very clever foreshadowings that I don't feel like occur in other places.
mm,
And then I'm about to make a nebulous statement that I'm just gonna make it, and we'll take it where it goes. I don't know what I mean by it or anything, but I'm sitting here trying to think about what something that something about season 3 or about book 3 change feels the most out of the 4 seasons. It feels the most like the original Avatar: The Last Airbender
oh,
series.
without it, yeah.
And I'm trying to logic it out, and I guess like I don't know. Season 1 feels like you've got the techie and the bending stoppage. Season 2 is all about the spirits and things like that. But
Uh-huh.
season 3 just feels like all like bending action, good guy versus bad guy. I don't know. It feels the most like a callback stylistically, maybe. I don't know
Yeah, and I
why
think
it
a
feels
lot of
that way.
that. No, season one I think feels like I feel like sometimes season one feels like the Dark Knight. Like it's
Okay.
so drama heavy and like the pacing. is a
It's like
lot.
it's a suspense thriller more than
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, yes. Like there's moments in it where I get Dark Knight vibes.
Whereas like
Um,
season 3 is definitely not a suspense thriller because like you know who the bad guy is right away. You don't know what he's gonna do, but like you know who you're
yes, yeah,
chasing the whole time.
yeah. There was mystery going on with season one. The whole Amon, like who is Amon, and then there's flashbacks to tie back to it. In season two,
A little bit
season
of that
two
still
felt like
mystery kinda.
season two felt more like lore and legends. Like it was
Okay.
so grand and in its scope, right? It's like, oh, let's go all the way back to the beginning, and now let's go all the way come all the way back now. And I feel like that wasn't really Avatar didn't really deal with like the huge grand thoughts of the Avatar and the whole universe, and so that felt a little different.
Yeah. I like the
Um,
lore and legends approach. It's like a bigger picture kind of exposition going on in season 2.
Well, I guess I would describe season three. So, if season one is suspenseful, suspense driven, almost mystery thriller, and season two is lore and legends, season three would be a lot like the original series. I feel like it was a traveling uh fantasy show.
Like an adventure, just like a big traveling
Yeah,
adventure.
yeah. Like they traveled like most episodes spanned more than one location.
Hmm?
Um, and throughout different episodes, they went to different locations. So we started off in Republic City, and then they split up. Some of them went to the temple. Then they went to different parts in the Earth Kingdom. Then they went to Ba Sing Se. Then they went to the Metal Clan, and then they went back to a different air temple or the same air temple. They went to a different air temple. Now we're at this new area that looks so similar to where like Aang fought Fire Lord Ozai at. So it was very much it got back in that traveling motif. And the creators even said this a lot. They're like, oh, it was like like we it kind of felt more like Avatar because the team was actually traveling.
I didn't. I would have never like pieced that together, but just knowing and feeling like this, it felt a similar vibe or the same parts of Avatar that made me really happy. And I should note, like when we will rank based on our ratings the season someday. That'll be a lot of fun. But I will still certainly, all rankings and ratings aside, look forward to picking my favorite, the subjective
Yes,
side.
yeah, that's
Just
all.
which,
That's
yeah,
always fun. I think to
yeah,
me is that
we'll
put your
definitely
objectives
hit
hat
both
on, and
sides.
then put your just like, no, this is my favorite.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's totally
like,
that transparency is. I find it a lot of fun. Right? All right, I accept that this one is the best one. So per our own rules, but then picking my
yeah,
favorite, which you hope is the same, but maybe it's not. So
like my
yeah,
favorite Batman movie is Batman Begins, but I think The Dark Knight is the best one, and I think The Dark Knight is one of the top three movies of all time. I can't even name the other two, but I just say it's top three because I am I haven't seen like The Godfather or like Citizen Kane. It's probably
Scarface.
trash. Scar.
If John Mulaney ever comes back through town, we have to see him. We have to go. I'll buy the
Oh yeah.
tickets myself. Anyway, sorry.
Oh wow, that's
No, I'll do it. Absolutely. He I don't know if he ever comes through Kansas City, so it could be an empty promise, but it feels like he has before.
probably. I mean, probably early on in his career, but
No offense, Kansas City. Yeah,
yeah.
just the confidence that you can place the Dark Knight up there, like quality wise. No, at least in my opinion, like when your one complaint about the Dark Knight for me at least is that it's too long, but then there's no other complaints. Well, like what part did you not like seeing more of? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just very long. I had to go to the bathroom several times,
The thing is, it's really it's only 2 hours and 35 minutes.
which is way
Like
too
Harry
long for
Potter
me, Chris.
movies,
My attention
I feel like
span's
Harry
not.
Potter movies are about that.
They're pretty
They're
close.
probably
Yeah.
220.
Yeah, but I can. There's like good 15-minute chunks of Harry Potter movies that I can step away and go to the bathroom without pausing, and it's totally fine. No offense, Harry Potter, you're my favorite, but
It's like, what were they doing now? Going down in the corridors down there
yeah, they're
again?
walking around
Okay.
some quarters. What? Hermione's mad at Ron. Okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, cook some dinner. I'll be back.
They're breaking rules again.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. I'm not,
that's
and I'm
dope.
like, I'm not bashing. We're talking about my favorite stuff.
No,
There's the castle
thing is,
right here. It's my
uh,
favorite. I'm allowed to say
I
it.
do love I do love the Harry Potter movies, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Minus the
Fifth
three
one.
most recent ones.
Oh, the Fantastic Beasts one. See, I
Yeah,
like the
I guess
first
those aren't
Fantastic
Harry Potter
Beasts.
movies.
I still like the first one of those. The
Yeah, I
second
didn't
one
really.
didn't, but I still like the first one. Anyway, we'll see how that turns out. I think the next one
Yeah,
is slated for 2022 November, maybe.
probably they're gonna recast Johnny Depp.
Yep,
But
I imagine so.
if I was him, I'd just get Colin Farrell again. I thought he was good. I'd just be like, hey, he just switched his face back over.
Yeah,
Okay.
like he just went back into disguise or whatever. I'd be okay
Yeah.
with that. And I don't know, he played a really good villain role, I thought. So, anyway, we've ventured
um,
straight far off the path, but the point is that it is okay to have favorites that are not the best things. I'm very excited to discuss both of those when the time comes, even if my foreshadowing is that it's going to be really hard for me to see this one knocked off its perch in my
yeah,
heart.
definitely. Okay. So other thing that I really loved about this season was, and I know we've disagreed about this. From I love Zahir. Like he is. I don't know. Man, we have to do an episode on ranking the villains. I need to write this down. Um, ranking just all the villains of Avatar. I'll be. That's really interesting to me where you would put like Azula versus Zahir, because I feel like you don't love either. I feel like you don't. I feel like you like them both enough,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think you love them that much.
Great
So that'll
villains,
be
like, gosh, I don't know. I do. No, you're right. That's good. For as much, Zahir is one of those where I think he'd probably still be extremely high, because a lot of the stuff is like nitpicks, but in a way it's because he makes me care about him or he makes me pay attention to him, kind
okay.
of.
Yeah.
And so even when I'm being nitpicky, and I'll stand by those things, I'm not trying to
Yeah.
like sweep them under the rug. But like I wouldn't ever notice if I didn't like if he wasn't engaging me to pay that much attention. So yeah, that'll be really interesting because, gosh, I mean, where do you put everybody with Amon and Kuvira and Zahir and
I know, right?
Azula?
Yeah.
I mean, I know the other ones too. They're not as interesting to me, but
Yeah, those are probably the top
those would be the four I
five.
would be choosing from, I
Uh,
think.
yeah. I mean, we would rank the other ones as well.
Yeah.
But like Ozai wouldn't be my top villains.
No.
Unalaq wouldn't be.
Not unless if
Um,
you like specifically to be like, all right, season 4 or season 3 Ozai, if that's like okay, maybe he'd rank a
although
little
it's,
higher.
you know what though, he might be a little better. I mean, if we think about how he affects Zuko, because he doesn't. To me, he's not that present in the story, but he has a huge impact on the story. He has a huge impact
But
on like
that's why
Zuko's
you've
story.
told us about it
I was
before, right? Is that's why they had to bring Zuko into the picture? Is like, hey, you can't just
true.
chase around this nebulous non-presence for 3 seasons. You have to have like a clear and present danger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, Zahir, great villain. I love his
Stellar
from the
villain.
from his first monologue about him quoting Guru Lahima, which was a huge freaking uh oh my gosh, I'm brain farting here. Huge freaking foreshadowing. Like you just think, oh, he's quoting Guru Lahima. Didn't know that this guy was a Guru Lahima fanatic and would carry his words of wisdom all throughout the series until
It kind of immediately
uh
lets you know you're in for a slightly better sort of ethical dilemma.
yeah.
Like right away, it sort of sets the tone for the type of villain you're working with.
Yeah. He said something like instincts is a mind's body, it's a fearful body trying to trick itself. Something like that. I can't think of it. But it's
Whereas they're good,
it's really cool.
like Ozai, you immediately kind of know what, not immediately, but when you're figuring out what kind of big bad Ozai is, you're like, oh, angry guy, want more land, got it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, like his monologue is like his best monologue is probably like yelling at Aang like you're weak. You don't deserve to live in my world. Your people didn't deserve to live in my world. And now you will face death or whatever.
yeah,
Like
and
that. Like
that's
it's
Ozai in a nutshell right there.
yeah.
You got the whole
Like
thing, and then Zahir when his opening line, and you're like, Ah, crap.
Like, oh shoot, this guy's read some books.
Wait, he's
Like,
he reads words,
he,
and we're gonna have to think
yeah,
about what he's feeling and formulate our own feelings on it because we can't just point at him and be like bad guy, you know.
yeah.
But
Um,
that'll be really interesting. Uh,
yeah.
so aside from so we talked about bad guys. What about favorite moments?
Uh, favorite moments. Here killing the Earth Queen. That was huge. That's so memorable. Um, that that's one of those holy crap, this ain't a kids show moment. Like I can't believe they did that from the animation, from the monologue from Zahir again, another great monologue. Um, and to watch like to me that's the most on screen I've seen a death in a Y7 show. All right, because like with Pali, and also Pali, that was a great moment also. Pali getting her head blown off, but like that to me was like very off screen, right? It's like zoom, and like it goes, but like the Earth Queen, it's in the camera's still there, right? The Earth Queen, you see her, uh, and the camera's going up while she's going down. Like the scene didn't change, the camera didn't change, the view didn't change, and so it still feels like that was an on-screen death. That was huge.
The As much as I would love to, not would love to, will continue to hype up Poli's death as like it's like a really cool action movie death. It's awesome. It's what you.
Yeah.
But the more impactful, the more dramatic, the more terrifying to have your breath drawn out. Like what a horrifying use of airbending. This
Oh my
that
gosh.
that all the implications, all of them. I would. I don't know if you stated it definitively, but I'm if you have, then I am going to agree that it is the Earth Queen dying as a favorite moment, with probably Flight as a close second and Poli's death as a close third for me.
Yeah.
Gosh, all the implications of like he's using airbending to just murder somebody, and all we've ever seen of airbending before has just been Aang, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. Also the other favorite moment is I mean it's stuck with me forever. It's the Janora's tattoo ceremony plus Korra just crying at the end there. I can't, I'll continue to talk and praise that moment. It's so good. There's so much emotions going on. They're just swirling around. I've never had my emotions just so conflicted in a television show before, or really in I think the only other time I'm watching something that I had such a various degree of different emotions at the same time was probably watching the end of 12 Years a Slave, where he finally returns, spoiler alert, finally returns to his family and he's like, sorry. Like he's saying sorry to them that he was taken, kidnapped, and everything, and he had to live through slavery for 12 years, even though he was a free man. Well, I think no one should be a slave, but he was captured. And he says he apologizes to his family for it. There was such a feeling of like, oh, I'm so happy he's reunited with his family, but I'm so sad that he's apologizing to them. It's such a myriad of emotions.
Well,
So
the
this
mere
is
fact that you're
awesome.
comparing anything about Avatar: The Last Airbender to 12 Years a Slave is a pretty heavy statement in a
That's
positive light for what Legend of
yeah.
Korra has done. It's pretty incredible to be able to make that comparison.
Yeah, Legend Core, like you're so happy and overwhelmed for Janora. Um, like and Tenzin gives such this rousing speech, but then Korra like doesn't have that same joy in her eyes. Like she looks at Janora in such a way that's just like it's so hard to explain. And then she sheds that one little tear, just like she doesn't know how her future is going to end up. Like this is the most down she's been. Like at least when Amon took her bending away from her, she still had at least one bending. She's still the Avatar. She can still fight people. Like I feel like even if Aang didn't restore her bending, she would have mustered up the will to go on. And I was not sure of that at the end
Yeah,
of the season. Like
when
I
and
knew it was going to be a long road back.
we talked about it when we reviewed the episode. It just the implications of as you're sitting there thinking like being a useless avatar is not almost, it's like probably feels way worse than being a dead avatar, so the cycle can just kick into the right. So really heavy implications. I think it says a lot who I am as a person, that I try really hard not to pay too much attention to those parts of the episode because they make me feel feelings. But that's how you know they're impactful. As the harder I try to avoid them, that means they're big.
Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
I will never. The uh, Chris, anything else you want to talk about? Again, a season so good that we just voluntarily decided that it needed a retrospective episode.
Let's talk about what we will change. I feel like we've talked
Oh
about
yeah,
this
yeah.
before. We've the thing is, so the last episode, so one episode that we found was our worst episode was the original Airbenders. But then I look back on, it, I'm like, I like certain aspects of that.
But could you fit
I
those
mean,
things you like about Boomy into like an existing episode instead of having this kind of
Probably.
oddball, or
Yeah, I don't
being
know
too
where,
nitpicky?
but probably could somewhere around there. But man, I love those things about Boomy. Um, and you don't really need the episode. I still want the episode. Um,
That's fair.
but again, we've talked about this before. Just a backstory of a flashback of the Red Lotus kidnapping Korra. Um, you have Chief Sokka in there, younger Tonrock, and then we've talked about this in the past. You can go look it up, but just long story short, you have Zahir kill Sokka, just add more weight to it, put a little bit more um, personal stakes into that battle. Also explains why like they don't bring it up all that often, and just explain more of that, just more backstory for those four members of the Red Lotus. I think would have went a really long way. All it needs is one episode. Like just give us one more episode, Nickelodeon. I think that would have. I don't want to take away. I don't even want to take away the airbending episode. Just give us one more.
We just want that Tales of the Red Lotus. We
Yes.
want to see Gazan's background in construction, and we want to.
Yeah. Gosh. The thing is, unlike like funny enough, I recently re-listened to our podcast about or part of it about rewriting book two, and I had like some pretty relative to this major changes to it,
Yeah, I
but
feel
I
like we
really
both
don't
kind of
have.
hacked it apart, not necessarily in a negative way, but just had kind of easier ideas of like what, or ideas came to us more easily of
Yeah,
what we would restructure.
I would not. I can't think of any major things I would change for this season. Like I wouldn't take away an episode. Um, I would just add one more episode just to add a little bit more backstory and flashbacks to him. Because I think that would have, well, it's just really, really cool to see. It probably would have been great. It probably wouldn't have affected. Actually, I think it would have, weirdly enough, it would have taken this season. I think you could possibly have another like 9.5 score episode with that flashback. Because, you would have Saga there, probably have a great fight scene, great stakes. Like, save we gotta save Korra. And this would be Sokka's last hurrah. And it's fan fictioning I'm bringing up in my head. And so that I think that would be a potential 9.5 score, maybe 10 score on our hands there. Just get one more episode. Just a 14 episode season would have been great.
Not to mention, I
Still,
like
yeah.
ending my seasons on even numbers.
Okay.
It's weird, but I don't have a whole lot I would change either. I kind of forgot about the Red Lotus idea, but I now you've got me hooked back on it. I think that would be a great idea. And I still say it's okay. To be fair, maybe the Red Lotus episode would help a little bit, like a little more background, kind of giving a better structure, better pedestal for Zahir to stand on. I still say I would underbake him just a hair more. There's still just a hair overdoneness to him for me, and a
Okay.
little OP. Like maybe I would just work harder to show that progression, to like really show his rest from having been in prison as a person, not just physically, not just bending, but as a person, and all of like the whole squad of having to work a little bit harder than they did and be able to display some of that to get back to peak form, or in Zahir's case to really fully understand airbending. It's like I would try to find a way just to soften it a little bit or to show a little more trajectory rather than, I know we've dissected it and we said, well, there's obvious growth from here to here, but just, I don't know that it feels obvious unless you're really paying attention. I want it to be a little softer entry. But that being said, I don't think I have any major changes even remotely come to mind that I would want to shift. I think everything would have to do with softening and maybe further exploring, as you've mentioned,
Yeah.
would help do some of that trick.
It's interesting. Today I sent you like another podcast idea of rewriting book one. And there's more things in there I think that I would change, especially just surrounding Amon. I've been thinking about Amon a lot lately, probably because I'm just painting a mask of him and thinking about cosplay of him and stuff like that. So there's a couple of different things I would change there. And I don't know, not as much as book two. I am not certain about book four on how I feel. We'll have to, get through it, and I'm sure there'll be more things to change there. Oh, there were absolutely nothing about it. Absolutely be more things to change in book four than in book three. But the season was
Not
so
to not
spot
to
on, I guess.
yeah, not to bash the whole season of season 4, but it is easier for me to sit here and think of kind of major thematic changes that I wouldn't mind than it is for book 3. Again, not trying
Yeah,
to give anything away or foreshadow.
yeah,
It feels
yeah.
like
I'm not
there's more
sure.
opportunity for changes.
Yeah, well, but now that I think about it, I'm not. Hmm. I
There's a
know
couple
book
things
four is not. Yeah.
in book 4 that really bug me that I wouldn't hesitate to
Okay.
suggest something different. Whereas everything with book 3 would come with hesitation. Like, really? Would I do that?
Yeah. Yeah, like even me, I'm like, do I really want to take away the worst episode of the season?
Yeah. Like that debate alone
Yeah.
says a lot about this season.
Microcosm, that's the word I was looking for, I think, in the last
Yeah,
episode.
it's a microcosm of the larger. Yep, got it.
Sorry.
We're not literary people. Um, yeah, no. I mean, I really don't have much. I want to see Gazon where he learned to drive. I want to see that CDL. That's about the
Yeah.
max. I want to pull out a license from 20 years ago. It's
Hey,
like, don't worry, guys,
for
I
some
got this.
for some reason he's in like a factory and there's some like foreman like, hey Kazan, not for nothing, but we need you to unload these trucks.
I thought it was gonna be like he learned how to lava bend because the factory in the volcano side exploded and everybody else died, and he saved himself because he's
Oh,
a
okay.
lava bender and nobody else was. And I don't know how that has to do with driving a truck other than he worked in a factory, I guess. But that's a good lava bender origin story. I feel like, or it's not probably, but off the cuff. Chris, other thoughts?
I think that's all the thoughts I have. Book three, let's wrap it up. It's one of the best seasons in American animation history. It's hard to compare to anime because anime seasons don't have just 12 episodes or
No,
13
no. I just watched
episodes.
like 60 episodes of Digimon that beg to disagree with our notion of what a season is.
Yeah. Um, it's so fun. Man, I can't wait to do. I'm so excited. Whenever we do that episode of what if Avatar actually was an anime. There's so many things, good or bad. Like there'll be so much more filler.
The
Like
hardest
anime
part
would
about doing
never.
that episode is getting you to get on earlier, or Jesse to stay up later. You're very opposite creatures with your
Oh,
evening
are we? Okay,
routines.
that's fine.
Jesse's an early bedtime guy. Jesse, if you're listening, I think it's adorable.
I'm like, you know what? Let me stay up. The thing is, I I don't have time to myself until like 9:30
Until
at
yeah.
night.
So that'll be the hardest part of the episode. Will have nothing to do with content. It'll be pure logistics. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. No, anime a different beast, but I like the Western animation distinguisher. That makes it feel a little safer to
Yeah.
say it's the best single, or even if you wanted to say like the best story arc. That almost sounds demeaning to the season to call it a story arc, but I don't know how else to wrap it up.
No, I mean, I like story arc.
Anyway, it's a tremendous season of the series and of the universe. It's fantastic. Looking forward to getting into season 4, and then after that,
Oh
kind
wait,
of.
I didn't mention my other favorite things. It was just Korra. Korra herself grew so much
Oh,
this season,
good call.
and and just how she was willing to sacrifice herself for the air nomads. And that was just a really great moment there, really great character work. That was also one of my favorite aspects of it because that's this season is one season I'm just like Korra haters. Like how in the world do you hate Korra this season? Like you gotta give her props for this season at least. Like I understand, hey, she's brash stuff in book one, even though I don't agree with all the hate that she gets there. Book two, I know is everyone's least favorite season. But book three, come on, poor hater. Like you must be going out of your way emotionally or mentally doing some mental gymnastics to think that Core is not a great character in book three. I know that sounds very judgmental of people's opinions because hey, everyone's got their opinions.
Yeah, it's fine.
But
Sorry, I meant it's like, yeah, it's fine for everybody to have their opinions. Please formulate an opinion on things. That's good.
yes.
Chris, least favorite thing of this season is that Kai is the new Jet. Kai sucks. He gets better. Obviously, he gets better, but right now he sucks.
I love both those. Well, I actually like Jet better than
Ugh,
Kai.
gross.
Yeah. I love Jet, actually. I think Jet's great. I almost decided to cosplay as Jet.
Chris, I would not
And
have
then
gone to con with you. I would have picked a
but then I was
different
thinking about
day.
like I was thinking about just like, all right, how would his costume be? It might be a cool costume. Making the swords would be cool. And then I looked up Jet cosplay and I was like, this is not great. And the thing is, I knowing that I would not be able to do as good as that, I'm like, I don't think this will get to I don't think like Jet
Um,
is so low key that his costume doesn't even look that great. I'm like, you
yeah,
know what? Nah, let me go with Amon. And I love Amon way more
Amana's
than
gonna
Jet.
attract lots of positivity. I think it's gonna be extremely well received.
Yeah.
And Jet is stupid, so I like this one
I'm
better.
crossing fingers that Janet Varney and and Dr. Bosco is going to come to Comic Con because they've been going to a lot of Comic Cons lately. So I'm hoping they come to
Ooh,
Planet Comic Con.
I saw the Yu-Gi-Oh voice actor guy and he
Yeah,
does a few other things. I forget his name, but the guy
yeah,
with the deep, awesome voice,
yeah.
the Yami Yugi guy, not regular Yugi, Yami
Yes,
Yugi. Yeah,
exactly.
good
Yeah.
one.
When I saw his picture, I was like, this must
That
be
does not match
the
up well at all.
yeah. That's not that
5-year-old
little like
child.
yeah,
No, the deep voice guy, and his other stuff's all
yeah.
great too. I feel bad I can't think of it right now, but I just got most excited. I was
Mhm.
like, I want him to do the Yami Yugi voice and just yell something at me. I don't even care what. Just
Yeah. It's weird. I feel like they're getting. I feel like it's early for them to be announcing these things. Or something. I
is
mean, it's not
it?
until
Remind me, is
April.
it April again next year, or is it?
Yes, April.
Okay,
I
so
think
kind
it's
of
like
back regular time.
2022. But
Yep.
yeah, cross the fingers. And I still want to reach out to them about the possibility of doing a an Avatar panel trivia type of deal.
That'd be a lot of fun.
If
Um,
not, we'll do a makeshift one in that glass hallway,
yeah, we'll
whatever
just
that
sit
is.
down. Like if we sit down and start just doing Avatar trivia,
Yeah.
you know damn well that will be a well attended event just by like, hey, some nerds are in the hallway doing Avatar trivia. One of them's dressed like a mon and the other's there. Also, uh, thank you guys, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Happy New Year's, and if you're not a New Year's person, happy survive another day person. Whatever you want to celebrate that today. And best of luck to you if you have resolutions or things you want to tackle as you try to improve yourself in 2022. Thank you so much. As always, Chris, aka the Objective Geek, Chris Ford, he's right there. I'll put all the contact stuff down in the description. My name's Shawn, and we'll be back next week, potentially starting on book 4. I don't know. We haven't even talked about it yet. We'll see what next week brings. Thank you guys very much.